I'm Giuliana Panieri. As a micropaleontologist, my main interest is in one group of marine organisms called the benthic Foraminifera. They are single-celled organisms with a shell. The calcitic shell foram is the group in which I am particularly interested in. And here there is an example of a species which is extremely abundant in the Arctic, which is called Melonis barleanus. Think about the marine sand. What you see under the microscope, it's 1,000 of foraminifera shells. The fact that they are so abundant and well preserved in the marine sediment make them a wonderful proxy to investigate many things. Foraminifera uses DIC, the dissolved inorganic carbon, to build the shell. And we know that the DIC in presence of methane is affected by it. They can also eat methanotrophic bacteria, which colonize the seafloor when there are methane emissions rising from the subseabed and then moving through the water column. But they can also serve as a template for calcium carbonate precipitation in presence of methane emissions. So I have to admit that there are still many open questions related to the possibility of using forams to investigate and reconstruct methane emission in the past, and through this AKMA project we will try to answer to some of those questions.
Hi guys, this is the multicore. It collects mud from the seafloor in its tubes. So when it's launched, it actually has a camera system so we can see what is at the bottom first, so we are sure we are targeting the right area we want to sample. And when we decide that it's time to collect mud, we just push this device further into the sediment. Each of these cores end up being filled with mud, and the trigger system closes at the bottom so that the cores are maintained until they come back to the surface. Then we push up the equipment and we are ready to go to the lab and work with the sediments. So I'm hoping to find some animals, some forams, some nematodes. There's the geochemistry guys working on the poor water, and some mud also for the schools.
Yummy.
This is one big forum, right? They're not only very small.
Yeah, exactly.
So we put the mud that we collect from the bottom of the sea, we put them through these different sized sieves. So we collect different sizes of forams so that we can use them for DNA studies. This is all one species of foram. These are the big ones. Botulina labyrinthica. Yeah, they're very big. This is one single specimen, this little stick. And now they're stored in this RNA and DNA preserver. So this will preserve them until we're doing like the sequencing of the DNA. Yeah, and they are agglutinated, so they kind of use the sediments from the seafloor to build their little house, their chamber. Yeah. And they're like a really big part of what you find in the Arctic Ocean, but that's what was completely new to me, because you don't preserve them as well as the ones with calcareous shells. So yeah, it's a whole new world waiting to be discovered.
So yeah, basically what I'm doing is to look at the sediment we collected yesterday. So we cut slices in the sediment cores, and then during the night I sieved it using a 125 micrometer sieve and put it in the oven by night to dry it. And now I'm looking at this sediment to extract some benthic foraminifera. So I'm putting them in slides, and these slides will be sent together with the rest of the sediment for students in Brazil and Africa to teach a little bit about what we are doing in the oceanographic cruises and identify these individuals that are very interesting to study climates and environment. It's not easy, it's not a detail.
Today we are creating foraminiferas. I think they have cool shapes so everybody can choose one of them to create. The most important ones are Melonis baleanum and Globoquatrina fasciderma. And these are the two guys who are actually underneath us at the moment, so they're living here in the Arctic. So we start with the tin foil first. We need to create a body and a skeleton, and on top of that we use this scalpy material and put on kind of a skin. Make a very thin layer, and then you wrap it around your body. How you do it, it's up to you. This is a creative workshop. Just do it like you think you want to do it. Just start and try.
Keeps its feet at the bottom of the sea. Neither is platonic, floating in a free. Use a microscope or squint your eyes. Very, very small and look very nice. Foraminifera can teach us a lot. If the ocean was cold, salty or hot, listen very carefully and hear what they say. Learn how the past is connected to today. If you want adventure, curiosity is key. Swim along the currents to the Arctic Sea. Dive down deeper to the coldest sea. Look at all the secrets these environments keep.
I think it's important for the general knowledge and also specifically for identification of organisms that can be present in the methane seeps, because very often they can be morphologically very similar to the species that live just outside the seeps. So DNA is the only way to really identify what is specific to this environment. If we are able to show that effectively some type of sequences appear only in the cold seeps, then we can go down to the core and detect when the methane seep were present in the geological time. As DNA is preserved in the core for at least a few 100,000 years, we can identify exactly the events of methane during the geological time, which may be very interesting for the history of the Earth and history of the cold seeps. So this will take some time, of course.